Hello once again. I'm using the Design Home app to decorate rooms. It's a very interesting app. I discovered it only a few days ago. Well, I've used it before years ago, but I'd completely forgotten about it. I didn't quite understand it then, and I've revisited a few days ago. And I think it's quite different. It seems much more user-friendly to me this time round. So I've designed a number of rooms, and I've got a few video clips on YouTube showing me as I design the rooms. But today I want to do something a little bit different. Since I've accumulated a few designs, I've had votes cast on these, and therefore I've got some scores against them. So I was just going to run you through what my scores are so far, so you can see the perspective from a new beginner. When I used this app many years ago, I only did 2 rooms. I didn't get into it at all, so I consider myself to be a complete novice when it comes to this. So just to set your expectations. But having said that, I think I have some pretty great designs, so it might, you might still find it intriguing. Right, I didn't start recording these straight away. I did a few rooms and then I started recording them, but I'll show you where I've got to. Oh, I've got some challenge results in. We can look at that at the end. So I can take you back to the votes that have come in. So let's go straight in, scroll to the beginning. So not all the votes have come through on these, just a few of them have, so we can look at those. If you want to see my very first design, that's this one here. I know it says challenge 2, I don't see a record of a challenge 1, so I'm not sure what that's about, but this I think is the first one I have, and this is, it doesn't tell me what the theme was. I thought it would. But anyway, it just calls it a training challenge 2, and I scored 4.1, which for this very basic design I think is quite generous actually. I wouldn't have thought this would score that highly, but I'm not complaining. And then my second training challenge 3, this is a bedroom, and I scored 4.1. So I put a little bit more effort into this one than the previous one, but I scored a little, well, run about the same really. So I was a little surprised. But if you know the way the voting works, you're pitched against one other design for the vote. So if you're unlucky to get a really advanced player pitching against you, someone who's got so many more styles and designs and maybe even experience, then even if your design looks really good, you could end up scoring quite low if you get pitched against a number of those experienced designers. But in any case, I think it's still a fairly good reflection of how good your design is. And 4.17, that was all right, I think. And then this is the first one that I screen recorded. So if you go on to my other video clips, the very first one you'll see is the Cape Town call. I scored 4.3, which I was quite pleased with. What I've been trying to do is to not play it too safe sometimes. Although I think actually the safe designs tend to score higher unless you take a big risk and it pays off big time. So yeah, it's interesting the way it works. So this is the design that I had. I like this design. It's got 4.3, which I think is fair. What do you think? And then I had this design up here, which not that impressive. At this point, I didn't use very many accessories, I don't think, but I made use of what I already had and came out with a 4.02 on this. This design 4.01, Loving London. I thought the black rug was enough of a risk to score higher. I thought the photos were well placed and the room comes together quite nicely and simply. But 4.01 is all I could manage here. This happens to be one of my favorite designs that I've done. This is Sleek in Berlin. I really thought this would score a lot higher because it's so bright and it's not playing it safe. If you look at the what do you call that? It's not a bit. It's not a the side table up against the wall underneath the picture. It's got a bit of red, and I just thought this was taking a little bit of a risk. The circular rug seems to do well with that glass table, and the style of the sofas and chairs looks pretty good. So I thought this would score 4.5 or higher, but it didn't. And just looking at the items that I did use, a fair few items, it does tend to tally up how much you spent, but it doesn't show it on here. It looks like I may have spent a fair little bit. By this point I was just really enjoying myself. 4.3, not bad, but I thought it would have scored higher. And then we've got Sparkling Overwater Bungalow. I scored 4.38 on this one, which I think is fair. I mean, it's nice and sparkly. I don't at this point recall whether I recorded this one as one of my other videos, but I think most of the items that I'll be showing you the votes for now, I also recorded myself while putting the rooms together, so you're welcome to go and have a look. And then this one I thought was quite nice. It's a very pink, I mean the walls were pink to begin with, so it was a case of matching it with the rug, the center table, the chairs, the sofa, the accessories, including the art on the walls, and I think I did a pretty good job. 4.34, it's fair, I suppose. And then we have this room, which is a sleek Seattle masterpiece. I was quite pleased to find this rug because it kind of created that aisle quite nicely, and the furniture again was pre-existing or pre-owned furniture that I had, so I didn't have to spend a whole lot more on this one. I try to avoid spending unless it's to fulfill the requirements and I've got nothing existing in my inventory. So this one, 4.34, again, it's fair. I think it's a nice, bright and contemporary room, minimalist, etc. This one I put together in, I didn't put too much thought into it, but it came out with a slightly higher score than some of the ones that I put more effort into. This is an outdoor space. Again, it's quite beige, but beige ones tend to score quite well, I've noticed. So I'm pleased with this, 4.41 score. And then we come to this one, Panoramic Sophistication, 4.34, not bad. I think it's very tastefully done. Black furniture, bold rug, and a touch of red in there as well. That's my little element of risk that I added in there, and that the potted plants work quite well. So 4.34, again, that's good. Then we've got this room here. I was disappointed in this score of 4.17. I thought I'd taken quite a risk with that rug and matched it with the orange footstools, and then kept the rest of it nice and white, put some plants on the wall, the lighting. I was expecting bigger things for this design, but sometimes when you get your score and then you scroll down and see what other people have done, you kind of understand why they're scored higher. There are some really, really good designs out there, but I was expecting a bit more than 4.1. I thought maybe 4.4, but it was not to be. Then we come to this one. I like this. This is one of the safe, what I would describe as safe. You've got the, there are no sort of bright colours. Nothing really stands out particularly. I think that rug was very well chosen by myself, and it fits in really well. 4.45, that's a good score. So I'm pleased with that. This is my highest scoring room, Spring into Life, and it's I think this is an outdoor one. I can see why it's scored highly. There is something about it, isn't there? And I haven't done the most obvious things. So the art on the wall, for example, I didn't go for a picture. I went for an art piece, and I think those two what do they call? Are they footstools? Ottomans? No, they're footstools. I think their colour complements the centerpiece really well. So this is a well-deserved 4.7 in my opinion. This Hong Kong Whimsy scored a disappointing 3.89. I'm not sure what it was. I thought it could have scored a little bit higher. I took a little bit of a risk with the pink sofa, and I thought it complemented the pink photo on the wall across from it quite well. But clearly the voters didn't think so, or I was pitched against people who had, really wow rooms, which is fair enough. And this one looks pretty good. It's a historic estate. I think this result just came in. 4.3. Again, I would have expected a bit higher for this room. It looks really professionally done, if I say so myself. And again, I've used that rug which has the aisle running down the middle of it, because it really does look quite elegant. But that is the score I was given. And I think that's the last. No, it isn't actually. We do have a few more. Narragansett Hosting. I can never pronounce this. This one I did do a screen recording for, so it's definitely in my video clips. Scored a disappointing 3.9. Not sure why. I would have thought it could have got a little bit more. It looks very. It's decent. Does look maybe quite ordinary. You'd probably see this in a typical household. So it doesn't scream wow, but I thought it was really well put together, and I was disappointed by the 3.94 score. Right, Washington Memories. This looks good. 4.07. That's not a particularly high score, but it is above a 4, and it looks okay. There's nothing fantastic about it. I think 4.07 is a fair score for this. So, right, a cantina far, far away. I took quite a lot of risk with this one, with that rug and the red. 4.22 is a good enough score. I've seen some amazing designs for this room, so I'm not going to complain. 4.2 is fine, and I'm happy with it, judging by what some others have put together for this room. Lovers Beach. I think this score just came in today. 4.44. That's a good score. I like this rug, and I like the center table that I paired with it, along with the plant on the center table and all the other accessories around it. This is a gorgeous room. 4.4. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's good. I'm not disappointed by that. And my average score, top left of the screen with a star, that's going up slowly as I complete more and more challenges. Are there any more? So this next one, the results come in 2 hours, so I don't know what I'll score yet, but what do you think I will score with this? I think this looks pretty good. Maybe that center table could have been better, but altogether pretty good. I like it. And I will stop there, and we'll see what happens with the scores that I'm waiting for so far. Thank you once again for joining me at the House of Harmony. Until the next video clip, take care.